and welcome to my video. Let's talk about caffeine consumption in sport. Caffeine consumption in sports. Mo Farah is among those known to indulgence in caffeine before racing, but what exactly are the effects? Caffeine can help you feel alert and reduce feelings of fatigue, and for most of us it is a regular part of our daily diets. It is naturally found in more than 60 plant species, the most commonly used being coffee beans, tea leaves and kola nuts. These are processed into what we all consume: coffee, tea, chocolate and soft drinks. However, the caffeine content in all of these hugely vary. In a healthy person, if consumed in low to moderate amounts, there are minimal health consequences to its consumption, and only those sensitive to caffeine suffer short-term side effects such as insomnia, headaches or nausea. Although the current recommendation is no more than 400 milligrams per day, and even less in pregnancy, it must be noted that tolerance levels of the stimulant widely differ between individuals. Caffeine is known for its ergogenic effects on performance and, as a result, is used by many athletes in sport. In a competition, although it is acceptable in moderate amounts, urinary concentrations over 12 grams per milliliter after competition is considered illegal and hence remains a restricted drug by the International Olympic Committee. It can safely be said, however, that an athlete would have to consume a vast amount of caffeine before reaching their legal limits, and therefore it is virtually unknown for an athlete being banned due to high levels of urinary caffeine. What are the claims on consumption? Caffeine is rapidly absorbed through the gastrointestinal tract, circulated to the tissues and metabolized in the liver. It is also rapidly absorbed into the brain. Elevated levels can appear in the bloodstream within 15 to 45 minutes of consumption, and peak levels can be seen after 1 hour. Scientific research looking into caffeine's physiological effects on submaximal, prolonged exercise is extensive. One of the earliest studies showed that after 330 milligrams ingestion of caffeine consumed 60 minutes prior to exercise, trained cyclists increased their time to exhaustion at 80% VO2 max from 75 minutes to 96 minutes. However, benefits are not just seen with endurance exercise. Improvements have also been seen in short-term exercise lasting 5 minutes at 90 to 100% maximal oxygen uptake. Numerous studies over the years have suggested that caffeine ingested an hour before exercise can improve performance. It must be noted, however, that some individuals will respond better to caffeine than others. How does this happen? Multiple mechanisms to how such improvements are seen have been suggested. The most cited theory suggests that caffeine improves performance in early exercise as a result of enhanced fat oxidation having a sparing effect on muscle glycogen, resulting in an increase in time to exhaustion. However, evidence for this is limited, and alteration in muscle metabolism alone cannot fully explain the beneficial effect of caffeine on exercise. Other theories have been suggested, such as a direct effect on the nervous system affecting perception levels, and also potential direct effects on the skeletal muscle. Nevertheless, as with any research, due to varying experimental designs and methods, there are still areas of conflict, and the exact mechanisms to its success are still unclear. 20 minutes before a race I'll normally drink some coffee to wake me up. If nothing happens, I have another shot. As I walk onto the stadium track I feel this massive caffeine high. Come on. Mo Farah. How much do you need? Various studies have set out to identify the levels of caffeine needed to improve performance. Most trained individuals seem to benefit from a moderate dose of 5 milligrams per kilogram of body weight, but intakes as low as 2 to 3 milligrams per kilogram have been found to enhance performance. For a person weighing 70 kilograms, this would be an intake of 140-350 milligrams of caffeine before exercise to see potential improvements in performance. In real terms, this would be approximately 1 to 3 cups of 250 milliliters fresh filter coffee. these levels, it makes it easy for an athlete to benefit from caffeine without crossing the legal barrier. Most of these studies focus on caffeine, but does coffee in itself have the same effect? A recent study looked at the effects of caffeine in coffee on trained cyclists performing a 45-minute time trial. 1 hour prior to exercise, the athletes consumed a drink containing either caffeine, instant coffee, instant decaf coffee or placebo. The main outcome was that both the caffeine and coffee time trial times were significantly faster compared to the decaf and placebo. The findings in this study are in line with other studies and reliably demonstrate that coffee is not inferior to caffeine in improving endurance performance. It must be considered, however, that caffeine content of coffee can vary hugely through strength and amount consumed. Therefore, it may be harder for the athlete to know how much they were having due to the unknown and variable levels in a drink. One of the most encouraging stories over the last few years though has been Mo Farah's indulgence in caffeine before his Olympic 10,000 m victory in London 2012. In his book Twin Ambitions, Farah writes, 20 minutes before a race I'll normally drink some coffee to wake me up. However, in the capital he has his normal espresso and as he says, nothing happens, so I have another shot. A common misconception is that if you choose to drink coffee or tea before exercise it will contribute to dehydration. In fact, a cup of coffee can count towards your daily fluid intake. A study performed this year proved there was no evidence of dehydration with a moderate daily coffee intake. The effects of coffee consumption versus water were compared on 50 males. No differences were observed in the blood and urinary markers used to measure hydration levels, indicating that, if consumed in moderation, caffeine does provide similar hydrating qualities to water. References available upon request. Top tips. If consumed in moderation, coffee can be part of a healthy lifestyle and balanced diet. Tolerance levels of the stimulant vary widely between individuals. Caffeine has been found to increase endurance performance if taken an hour before the start of exercise. In trained individuals, consumption of 2 to 5 mg per kilogram have been found to be most beneficial, but consuming more than that has not been found to further improve performance. These doses are well below the IOC permitted limit. Coffee has been as effective as caffeine in improving performance though levels vary widely between drinks. Caffeine in moderation does not affect hydration. It can count towards your daily fluid requirement. No amount of caffeine will compensate for an unbalanced diet. If you are using caffeine to boost performance, make sure you are also fueling adequately with a good diet. Alexandra Cook, ESCPG. Dick Road is a sports dietitian and a club runner with 10 hair and hounds. Alexandra Nutrition is a private clinical and sports dietetic consultancy covering Lincolnshire, Rutland and Leicestershire.